Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3 recently concluded with another solid season. Lower Decks, the show I originally wasn't very fond of when it came out, has continued to grow season by season, with Season 3 being no exception. Season 3 continues to grow on the lovable characters like Boimler and Beckett.
Without Starfleet, none of you would exist! We don't want to protect you from the Klingons and the Borg! We just want to explore and study f***ing quasars!
While Lower Decks continues to feel like a love letter of sorts to past, present, and future Treks, the establishment of its characters never felt left behind.
I'm just so scared.
This includes one of my favorite episodes in the entire show's run, Reflections. The episode focuses a lot on Rutherford, in particular who he was prior to his implants.
Only one of us can walk out of here. We have to choose.
What we get is a nice dissection to the character who lacked a bit of the backstory that we see with the mains like Boimler and Beckett. In usual Lower Deck style, it promotes this sense of fun, whilst also never forgetting about the show's heart.
Don't lose those friends. Thanks for one last race.
It was one of the few times that Lower Decks actually made me kind of emotional. One of the biggest knocks I had on Lower Decks was the constant need to ride on the coattails of prior Trek with reference after reference. As the show has grown with its own personality and cast of likable characters, these references have become lessened and have been used to greater effect. This includes the First Contact site, with the mentioned Cochrane statue and theme park, as well as the return to the beloved Deep Space Nine.
Sir, how do we do that?
I don't know, just circle around and pretend we're in awe of the pylons.
Yes, sir.
Returning characters like Kira and Quark are welcome sights, even if I did wish the returning cast extended to even more recognizable characters.
Have you ever had a dream that you
Perhaps the biggest miss of the third season was the episode A Mathematically Perfect Redemption. Escapist magazine called this one of the finest Star Trek episodes since the return of the franchise. They also called it bold and formally ambitious. I found the episode to be just plain not good.
What did you say?
Perhaps the messaging just didn't hit well with me, and I certainly haven't gelled well with the character of Peanut Hamper.
Oh, whatever. I didn't want to stay here anyway. You're like the poor man's Aurelians.
The episode title implies the overarching theme of the episode, and that's the thought of forgiveness. Hamper's assimilation and betrayal of sorts of civilization just didn't work for me.
You're all just jealous of my advanced intelligence. You know who I should have called? The Borg.
In the end, I felt like an episode with Boimler, Beckett, and company was far more entertaining. This just didn't feel like Star Trek to me. It just felt like silly nonsense. Finally, the finale. Lower Decks Season 1 finale might be the best one in all of Star Trek. I've talked about it ad nauseum, and no doubt that's a hard episode to live up to. In Season 3, we are introduced to another villain with Admiral Buenamigo. Once again, Mike McMahan uses a famed Trek trope of admirals being villains, with the admiral wanting a full fleet of autonomous ships. In turn, he betrays friend and colleague Captain Freeman.
Better than this, Les.
I'm really not. You know, I'll say you attacked the Alito out of anger when you lost the race.
The thought of Beckett seeking this sense of purpose was a relatable character arc, and one that had plenty of redemption in it. With the last bit showing the return of the evil Badgie, I have a feeling the character will perhaps be a primary villain in the fourth season. Overall, the two-part finale was entertaining, but I do feel this idea of autonomous ships would have been an issue seen much earlier in the Trek years. That feels like something we would have seen maybe in Enterprise even. Season 3 did a great job of expanding character arcs and refusing to leave characters stuck in Flanderisms. Boimler was tired of playing by the books, and in turn, expanded what he was willing to do. Beckett sought out this sense of purpose. Rutherford, the goofy cyborg, has a deeper, darker history, and was once kind of a daredevil jerk. I felt like a lot of these stories and character arcs were relatable and surprisingly done well. Is this the best season of Lower Decks? I'm not quite sure it is, but the animation continues to be stunning, along with great character work by the cast. Lower Decks continues to be a surprising element to the Trek universe, even if it isn't everyone's cup of tea.
Tea Earl Grey hot.
If you want to hear me talk more about Trek, click on this video here, and I'll see you on the next one.